Hello and welcome back, and we want to continue our look at mobile applications for NAS. Today we want to focus right back on QNAP, and I want to talk about QVideo. It's their video handling application for Android and iOS. But do you know what? I'm going to be completely honest with you right here on the top. This is one of the most disappointing apps on their repertoire. If I go back to that main screen. I installed a number of applications from QNAP for this video. You can see QGet, QNotes 3 and QRemote, some of the more unusual applications for controlling and handling different areas of your life. But for me, QVideo was the app that was supposed to give a lot more than it was. So first and foremost, it uses the same framework structure as all the other QNAP applications. Of course, we are looking at the Android version here, so maybe the iOS version's a pinch different. But there's no denying that this is incredibly familiar as a layout. So if we go to the settings menu at the bottom, we can reassign the folder size, how much we can download locally to our phone to make sure we don't exceed too much storage, empty the cache if need be, auto login, usual sort of details. You can set it up so it's Wi-Fi only, which, let's face it, if you're streaming big movies and particularly 1080p and 4K, then chances are Wi-Fi only is definitely an option you're going to want to go for rather than use up all your 4G and 5G. On top of that, you've always got 360-degree views options within a number of videos that I'll show you later on, and this lovely little extra here, hardware accelerated decoding. So that's encoding, decoding, very different things with regards to upscaling and downscaling, but nevertheless it's nice to have that option as a click on or off. Now, as mentioned, the layout is pretty similar. If you want to add a NAS, go to the add NAS and it will find NASs on your network. There's my backup 2-bay at the top. But if we make our way into our main NAS here, this is a 253A, and I'll give you some idea about the QVideo user interface. Now, in the past, we've already looked at QFile, we've looked at a bunch of others, but in this, opens straight into our shared videos folder. So there's videos here, there's some episodes of Futurama and stuff like that I've shared with friends and colleagues. First thing you see is this classification tab. Now what this does is if you've created individual folders and structure utilizing the QVideo application on the QNAP NAS via the desktop, you can set it up. The different folders and different kinds of media can be categorized in the submenu. Sadly, I haven't set that up. But if you were to go into the application on a desktop, you can set it up to scan certain folders so that all the movies that you've got in a movies folder will be here. But do remember, all you can do is tell it to scan a certain folder. So if you've got mixed media in that folder, you've got music videos mixed with movies, mixed with box sets and more, they will still all appear under the movies tab. And all the movies tab acts as is a scanning area. They've just broken it down into those little categories there, but it doesn't you set up where it scans, so it's not intelligent enough to know the difference between a movie and a TV show. Shared videos are ones that we've distributed, as you've seen earlier. Private collections, if you've got multimedia that you only want you to use, and you can classify it or stick it in different directories, as I've done. Qsync is if you want to synchronize your device, such as I've got here. These are videos that are on my mobile device that I can back up directly onto this NAS, but we won't. And finally, we've got folders, and that lets us see the direct folder breakdown of our NAS. A full file directory, a file manager. So we go into multimedia, and we look at wedding movies. Why not? And we look at wedding movies. This is a friend of mine that wanted wedding movies streamable over a short period of time. And if we look at The Wedding Singer, great movie from the 90s, we click on this bad boy, and as you can see straight away, it asks us about transcoding. So this movie, I believe, is a 1080p file, but for our phone, why don't we watch it in 360p? And we will watch it with the app from QNAP itself. And there's the movie itself being downscaled into 360p for the mobile. It only took an extra few seconds to play back. So let's make our way back to the menu. Taking another look back at the way this device handles movies and multimedia, why don't we see what happens if we want to play the original file using QVideo from QNAP. So if we go for the original full-size file, and once again we play it in the QVideo application, let's see how long it takes to play the full-size file on this Nexus 5X. So still very quick indeed. We can fast forward, and again we are on LAN, so do bear that in mind. But skipping forward has already produced a little bit of a lag factor there, and again, this is why transcoding is such a big deal, because some of these files are so big, and my mobile device is going to struggle to play these files back. But if we go back to the beginning, outside the cars in the city go rushing by. While the multimedia is playing, there's actually quite a lot of options that we can tinker with on the QVideo application. So we wanted to go to the bottom here, we can alter the resolution if we see fit, so we can actually change to another transcoding level if we so choose. On top of that, we can switch to subtitles if they are available, and some of the times you can actually download subtitles, as you can see here in the background, to let you search them if they are in the original file, or search online. Finally, character set, with regard to the subtitles, if you want to change it to locally available characters that are more suitable to your output. Now, while a multimedia file is playing, it is worth mentioning that one, you can stream it and cast it to different devices. I've got a few devices here I could stream this to. That's audio output if I wish, or I can stream the Kodi output to it to a Kodi media box on my network. As seen in the photo station application, another cool thing we can do is enable 360-degree mode, and that means if we want to watch this movie on a 360 headset, the movie will be able to be rotated and display things on that headset as we choose. But of course, in order to play back 360, it will need to start the encoding process again. But if we move my phone around, if we had this on a Bluetooth on a headset here, we would be able to see a lot more, and the movies carry on from where it left off. If we go to Google Cardboard is when we've got two different individual viewing parts here, and of course, if we had our phone on landscape mode, we would see more. But it's nice to have these features and functionality built into it. Not a lot of the NAS media players do support 360 degree viewing. But moving out from that, there is lots of ways in which you can play media on this. Not just with the video collection and folder distribution that we looked at, all those classifications at the top. We can directly upload and download media to and from the NAS using this application. Download folder, if we wanted to download media directly from this onto our phone. Let's get rid of Clearless at the bottom there. Moving in, we can look at download tasks there in the background happening in real time. So I guess the main thing you're wondering is, why am I so disappointed with this app? Well, there's a few reasons. One, it is really underwhelming. When you think this is a app used for watching video media on your NAS, that is a big deal. And I've only just finished the review of the Synology DS video application, which is just a breath of fresh air, which you'll see in the other videos. And after numerous occasions where the QNAP app outdone the Synology application by a great degree, it makes me really sad that such a pivotal process, such as watching movies on your NAS, is handled so badly on this app. It's very clunky, it pauses a lot, even fast forwarding and rewinding, I should say, or going back, a movie file does seem to lag quite a lot in this app. Now, I've watched movies directly on the NAS, I've watched movies on laptop devices and stuff like that, and they've always been able to skip forward and skip back pretty easily with thumbnail generation. But I do find that this is just a very clunky interface when it comes to watching movies, and definitely not something that I find particularly user friendly. Like, here are some of my own home movies. So if we select something here, we'll go for A Bear in the Woods here, and we'll set this to the original file. Why not? And we'll watch this original file utilizing the QNAP's own media playing application. It's 51 minutes long, this Panda Bear here. And again, if we try to move forward too much, oh, actually, no, as a small file, this does seem to behave itself a little bit more. But if we go for a bigger file, let's go for something a little bit longer, shall we? So this is what I get for only having short videos on my phone. It's a wedding speech there. Get that played in the original resolution. And there's just those lags that are just not present on the mobile application from Synology. And it's worth mentioning this is only a 12-minute video file with the original resolution. I've watched video, if you watch a movie, I shouldn't have to wait that long on LAN. Now, again, maybe I'm being a bit panicky, but what I would argue is I've seen a number of applications handle movies a lot better than this one has. So which is why one of the main reasons it makes me sad to say it, but this is probably one of the worst apps from QNAP. They've got some great mobile apps out there for iOS and Android, but nevertheless, this has been the QVideo app running on a Nexus 5X. Do check out my videos on the other QNAP applications for multimedia, and I will be versing this up against DS Video from Synology. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.